Good morning. I'm Ryan Reichert, President of the Sealy ISD Board of Trustees. Here today with me is Brian Hallmark, our Superintendent of Sealy ISD, and Lisa Sabota, our CFO of the district. We want to give you some information about Proposition A, which will be coming up on the November ballot. Early voting begins on October 20th and will run for 10 days. And we just want to make sure that you have all the right information to make an informed decision. Brian, can you tell us a little bit about how we arrived at the decision to ask voters to increase the tax rate?
So one thing we know is that we have to put Sealy ISD in a better position to recruit and retain high quality staff. We know that one of the most significant indicators of student success in a classroom is the quality of the teacher. And right now our teachers can drive 20 miles and make 13 to 15,000 more than they can make in Sealy ISD. We're never going to pay what Katy and Lamar ISD pay, but we have to be in the ballpark so that the things that make a smaller district like Sealy attractive to live and work outweigh the benefits of driving to make more money. We also want to ensure that we continue offering the student programs that we have. Not many schools our size have programs like auto tech, aerospace engineering, culinary, electrical, and dual language programs. Additionally, we would also like to add programs like plumbing and computer science. The reality is that there are two ways within our control that we can increase revenue. We can ask the voters to approve our tax rate through an election, or we could eliminate or reduce our local optional homestead exemption. And we feel the right thing to do is to give our voters the facts about how these two options impact them financially and let them tell us what choice is best for our community.
And Lisa, I know we're one of the only districts in our area that still offer a homestead, a local exemption. It's something that's very important to our board to retain. Can you tell us a little bit more about how much do we save because of that local exemption?
Yeah, the local optional homestead exemption is a huge savings for taxpayers. It's 10% right off the top of your assessed value. So on a $300,000 home, if your assessed value is $300,000, you're taking $30,000 off that taxable value right off the top. And so for a home that's assessed at $300,000, that savings is about $288.15 per year. So again, just as you said, it's something that as a taxpayer we really value, and we want to keep it in place to the extent possible.
And what will be the cost of the additional pennies if the voters approve to the average tax?
So if you look at the same property that Lisa just mentioned, valued at $300,000, the cost of increasing our maintenance and operation rate 3 pennies through Proposition A is going to cost that household about $39 a year. And if you look at what our local optional homestead exemption saves them, it saves that same household $288 a year. And so when you compare the two, you can see that holding on to the local optional homestead exemption is worth more to our voters than passing Proposition A. And not only is it a better deal for the homeowners and the taxpayers, it also generates more revenue for Sealy ISD.
Yeah, and Lisa, this is the confusing part on the way these funding formulas work. So can you try to explain a little bit more about how we can pay less, but it generates more revenue for the district?
Right, so these passing Proposition A would generate about $1.68 million for the district, and that's not all on the backs of taxpayers. That's the great thing. So these are what we refer to as golden pennies, and because these pennies are equalized across the state of Texas, they will not only generate the local funding from the taxpayers, which is about $672,000, but if these 3 pennies are assessed, the state will kick in a little over $1 million on top of that. And so that is just money that we are currently leaving on the table with the state because we do not fully assess our golden pennies.
So would it be safe to say that myself as a taxpayer, if I pay a penny of Vader tax rate money, that the district would receive 3 pennies?
That's correct, with the state of Texas kicking in those other 2.
And if I pay a penny of homestead exemption tax money, that CLIC only gets 1 penny?
That's correct, because the state of Texas does not hold us harmless as a district for offering that additional discount to our taxpayers.
All right. And Lisa, could you tell us how will the Vader rate affect our over 65 population?
So for our over 65 population, if they have their 65 exemption filed with the Austin County Appraisal District, their taxes are frozen. So this will not increase the amount of taxes that they are currently paying.
So, Brian, where can we find the proposition on the ballot?
So Proposition A is going to be the last item on the November ballot. So we encourage our voters to get all the way to the bottom of the ballot and make their voices known on this issue.
And Lisa, where can we find more information about it?
We have a lot of information out on our website, so that's at sealyisd.com, and if they'll click on the Proposition A banner, there's a wealth of information there.
And also say you could reach out to any of us, any board member, any of the folks that are around town we'd be happy to visit about it. One thing, we'd like to thank you for your time. We appreciate everyone listening throughout the video if you're still with us. And most importantly, just know that like all three of us are homeowners and taxpayers within this district as well. And we try to make the best decisions for our kids and the best decisions for everyone that owns property in our district. Just remember that early voting starts on Monday, October 20th at the Hill Community Center, as well as the election office in Belleville. That'll run for 10 consecutive days. And then the general election day will be on Tuesday, November the 4th. You can vote at any countywide voting location for this proposition. With countywide voting, any polling location in Austin County will have this proposition as long as you scroll all the way to the bottom. And we just very much appreciate your time, and we hope that you get out and vote.